Thank you so much for joining us.
28 years since an Iowa news anchor went missing. Jodi Huisentruit failed to show up to work in Mason City in 1995 and hasn't been seen since.
And a mystery that essentially turned into one of the largest missing persons investigations ever in Iowa.
A rising talent, a shining career, and a fateful morning that changes everything. On June 27, 1995, beloved news anchor Jodi Huisentruit vanishes without a trace. The events that follow become a true nightmare for her family. While her professional success is widely admired, it seems there were people who wanted to destroy her personal happiness at any cost. Left behind are her heartbroken family and countless unanswered questions. Questions we'll try to uncover today. Jodi Huisentruit is born on June 5, 1968, in Long Prairie, Minnesota. She is the youngest in her family. She grows up in Long Prairie, where she later attends high school and plays golf with great passion. After graduating high school successfully, Jodi enrolls at St. Cloud State University, where she studies mass communications and speech communication. She graduates in 1990. Her first job after college is with Northwest Airlines, but her true passion lies in broadcasting. Shortly afterward, she begins her broadcasting career with CBS in Cedar Rapids. She then returns to Minnesota to work for ABC, before moving again to Iowa to take a position with CBS. There, she seems to have finally found her calling. She works as a news anchor and quickly becomes something of a local star in Mason City. People love her cheerful, outgoing personality, and soon, several men begin to show interest in Jodi. But the now 27-year-old doesn't seem to be romantically involved with anyone. Only years later does it come to light that the truth may have been quite different. More on that later. On the day before her disappearance, June 26, 1995, Jodi participates in a golf tournament. According to her friend John V., she goes home with him afterward to watch a video of her birthday party, which he had organized for her earlier that month. It is the last time anyone sees Jodi alive. On Tuesday, June 27, 1995, Jodi's colleague Amy Coons noticed around 4 a.m. that Jodi hasn't shown up to work as scheduled. Amy calls Jodi's apartment, and Jodi actually answers. She explains that she overslept and is heading to the station right away. But by 6 a.m., Jodi still hasn't arrived. Amy has to fill in for her during the daybreak morning show. After multiple failed attempts to reach her, Jodi's colleagues contact the police around 7 a.m. When investigators arrive shortly after at Jodi's apartment, they find her red Mazda Miata in the parking lot. Nearby, there are signs of a struggle: a bent car key, a pair of red women's shoes, a hairdryer, hairspray, and earrings scattered around, all of which are later confirmed to belong to Jodi. Police also find an unidentified palm print on her car. At first, there is still hope that Jodi will turn up soon, but the longer the investigation goes on, the more that hope fades. Investigators question several neighbors in Jodi's apartment complex. They report having heard screams at around the same time Jodi would have been leaving for work. One neighbor also reports seeing a white Ford Econoline van parked in the lot around that time. Police Chief Jack Schleiper says, some people reported hearing noises, others described them as animal sounds. 2 days after Jodi's disappearance, Chief Schleiper states that, based on new information, they are now working on the assumption that a crime has occurred. The police receive support from the FBI, who assist with the investigation. They search the area around Jodi's home, as well as along the nearby Winnebago River. On the riverbank, investigators find clothing, but it cannot be confirmed whether it belongs to Jodi. At this point, the case is still classified as a missing person case, indicating that the police still hold out hope of finding Jodi alive. It is not ruled out that someone might have been in her apartment before her disappearance, but there is no evidence of that. Since there are no signs of a struggle in the apartment, it's assumed that the attack happened at her car. Jodi never mentioned having a stalker, but it's known that due to her job, she was well known and had several admirers. Only once did she contact police, about 9 months before her disappearance. Jodi told officers that she believed a man in a white truck had followed her while she was out jogging. She had mentioned this incident to friends, saying she was afraid to go to work when it was still dark. Jodi had also considered quitting her job and moving back closer to her hometown, but never went through with it. Her disappearance shocked the residents of Mason City. Because of her bright and friendly personality, the news anchor had quickly won over the community, and her sudden vanishing deeply affected many. As the police investigation stalls, Jodi's family hires private investigators in September 1995. They try to shed light on the mystery and appear on several national TV programs, including America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries. In November 1995, they traveled to Los Angeles along with members of Jodi's family to meet with 3 well-known psychics. The meeting is televised and serves as a pilot episode for the TV show Psychic Detectives. Although each TV appearance generates multiple tips, none lead to concrete evidence or the identification of a suspect. In May 1996, about 100 volunteers search an area in Cerro Gordo County, marking everything that seems suspicious with flags. Each of these flagged sites is then re-examined by law enforcement, but no promising evidence is found. Police and private investigators conduct over 1,000 interviews, but none result in conclusive proof or a suspect. In May 2001, Jodi Huisentruit is declared legally dead. In 2003, the website FindJodi.com is launched by TV journalists Josh Benson and Gary Peterson from Minnesota, with the goal of keeping the case alive in public memory and creating a centralized place for tips. In early June 2008, photocopies of 84 pages from Jodi's personal diary are anonymously sent to the local newspaper, the Mason City Globe-Gazette. The package is large, has no return address, and is postmarked June 4th in Waterloo. The original diary has been in the possession of law enforcement since the beginning of the investigation. Just a few days later, the Mason City Police announced that the sender has come forward. She turns out to be the wife of the former Mason City Police Chief. Police confirm that the former chief took a copy of the diary home when he left office, but do not give any reasons why his wife chose to send it to the newspaper. In March 2017, a search is conducted at the home of Jodi's acquaintance John Van Cise, the man who is believed to be the last person to have seen her alive. As he's not officially considered a suspect, it is assumed the search was inconclusive. Since 2019, private investigator Steve Ridge has been working on the case. Ridge believes that Jodi Huisentruit had a romantic relationship with a man she met only 10 days before her disappearance. According to Ridge, Jodi met this man in a bar, and the two quickly developed an intense relationship. They saw each other on 8 out of 10 days, and the only reason they didn't on the other 2 days was that Jodi was out of town. Jodi initiated contact almost daily, either through calls or meeting up. But despite the intensity of their relationship, she never told even her closest friends about him. Why she kept it a secret is unclear. Ridge suspects she may have wanted to avoid drama or feared upsetting another admirer. 5 days before her disappearance, Jodi met the man at his house on Clear Lake. Ridge visited the man there, and he told him that they had sat on the terrace, sipped drinks, and enjoyed the lake view. The man had reportedly been a suspect at one point, and police had even searched through his trash. But Ridge is convinced that while the man is not guilty, he still plays an important role in Jodi's disappearance. In Ridge's view, Jodi tried to make it appear that she wasn't dating anyone, to avoid becoming the target of someone else's jealousy. He believes someone else eventually found out about her relationship, and may have wanted revenge. In 2022, ABC airs a special segment titled Gone at Dawn, which revisits the case and interviews key people involved. On the 28th anniversary of her disappearance, Jodi's family posts a statement on findjodi.com, asking local residents for support and information. In 2023, Steve Ridge doubles the reward in Jodi Huisentruit's case, increasing it from $25,000 to $50,000. He emphasizes that money can be a powerful incentive to motivate someone who might otherwise hesitate to come forward. He is convinced that Jodi is no longer alive and believes that some people know how she died. He suspects multiple individuals may have been involved and that some might be withholding critical information. By offering a higher reward, he hopes one of them might finally break their silence. Steve Ridge is now very close to the Huisentruit family, speaking weekly with Jodi's sister. He feels a personal responsibility to help the family find peace and closure. Jodi's mother, Jane Huisentruit, passed away on December 9, 2014, without ever learning what happened to her daughter. The family and investigators still hope that new information or evidence will eventually help solve the case and bring justice for Jodi Huisentruit. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Do you have a theory about what might have happened to Jodi? Was it really a jealous admirer? Or could the last person who saw her alive have something to do with her disappearance? Let me know what you think in the comments. Doing so also helps support the channel. If a video receives a lot of interaction shortly after upload, it's more likely to be recommended to people who haven't yet subscribed to Truthscape yet. Here you can find the next chilling case. See you soon. Until then, stay safe.